the application process involved doing a set design model, a 3D model or floor plans for a play that was set by NIDA. And I chose A Midsummer Night's Dream by Shakespeare and built a 1:25 scale model box of that show. I then had to investigate in depth one aspect of technical theatre for that show. And so I looked at the set design for that. So talked about the scenes and how actors would move around the set. You also need to do a review of a production that you've seen at any time. So I reviewed a STC show and wrote an essay about that. And then you have questionnaires for NIDA to know more about you when you get to your interview.
So I'm not gonna lie, it was really intimidating at first because when you're applying and you have to get out of your head like, oh my gosh, it's NIDA, like it's so impossible, you know, like I'm never gonna get through to the interview. But it's just another school. It's just like, yeah, it's just another school. And so I read it, and when you read it and at first read and surface value, you're like, wow, there's so much to do. And I kind of really had to get over that. But then once I booked my interview and I was like, I have no excuse to back out now because I've booked it. I read it again and I broke things down into bits of I can do this on a weekly basis, and kind of made my own schedule so that I left myself enough time to have it done and then adjust things if I needed to. So we had to create a ground plan that they provided to us through the website, and then we had to create our own set for a play or a musical that we picked. They give us a list for that as well. What also helped was when I went to the open day last year and I talked to the TTSM panel and I introduced myself and said, hi, I'm going to apply, I'm really nervous. And Mel, who was my stage management teacher, spoke to me about it. She's like, no need to be nervous. This is what you have to do. And she really talked me through it and also gave me her email for if I had any questions or if I needed help. And that made things a whole lot easier because it was like, oh, you know, they're not looking to put people down. They actually want to see what we have to offer and to do.
I spent most of the year working on my application, so making sure that I had a little bit of experience in kind of areas in stage management and technical theatre, researching, looking for opportunities. I work at a dance studio, so for my dance studio's productions, I was always doing lighting or up in the light booth, talking to the technicians, asking questions, asking how they got their experience, stuff like that. Yeah, I made a little portfolio, which is really bad now that I look at it. And then for the actual interview, you have to prepare a project. So they give you a list of plays and you can do a set design or a lighting design for that play. You can do a model box or a 3D CAD drawing, stuff like that. For my interview, I think what pushed me in, I also did a really big production analysis. So I outlined, for every scene, I outlined all the characters, the costumes, props, set, sound design, light design, and I had a projector as well in my set design. So I included all of the info for that scene by scene. I made a little model, which is really cute, and I still have it at home.
So for, I think all of the technologies, it's an interview rather than an audition. So for ours, we had to design a set for a show. We were given maybe, I'm gonna say 6 options for shows, and we had to design a set for it, including mechanical elements that moved and how we would accomplish them. So a big portfolio of the designs, the drawings, and then a little portfolio of our previous work. So tinkerings were done at home or stuff we'd worked on in the past. So I probably put in, it would have been at least 50 hours, somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 60 hours, I would guess.